This is our demo video for Change. I'm going to show you how you can walk through our product and use it for yourself. So first, we're going to start on the landing page, where we're going to begin our journey. It takes us immediately to the login page. Here, I'm going to log in with my school email. Once I've logged in, I'm going to start the first part of the onboarding process. I get to choose from a list of charities, beginning with local charities that exist in Santa Cruz. And then I get to scroll through and filter through different charities that might be of interest to me. Now I can select up to 5 charities. So I'm going to go ahead and select 4 to 5 to show for this demo. Once I've selected the charities I'm interested in, I can continue and head on to the next part of the onboarding process, which would be to set donation goals for each one. Now I'm going to keep the donation goals relatively low for the sake of the demo, but you can set it as high as you'd like. Now that we've finished, I get to choose my donation strategy. I can choose to have my donations be randomly distributed amongst all of the donations or charities that I selected, or I can rank them in a priority queue, where the first goal I satisfy will get completed and then I proceed on to the next and the next after that. I can go ahead and reorder them by dragging them and dropping them as I see fit. Once I've completed that, I'm going to head on to the last part of the onboarding process, which is to link my bank account. We use Plaid to integrate bank accounts to track transactions, but because we're using sandbox mode, I can skip this step for now. Now we're on our main dashboard, and here I can see all the charities I selected, and I have a few options to edit the goal. I can also open the charity page in an external browser, and if I'd like, I can also remove the charity. Now I'm going to show you how you can add a charity. Just like we saw on the onboarding page, we're going to load in a list of all the charities we saw earlier. I'm going to go ahead and select one and then set my goal. And if I'd like, I can reorder it using the drag and drop feature. If I want to randomly distribute payments, I can just select random, and now all of my donations would be randomly distributed. Now, because we're using Plaid in Sandbox, we added the simulate payment feature to show you what it would be like if you had a real purchase happen on your card. I'm going to go ahead and choose one of the preset, but I can also go ahead and just select my own amount. So now that I've simulated a payment, we're going to see the amount, the roundup amount, donate, and then go to a random charity of my choice. Now I'm going to go back to priority mode, and I'm going to show you what happens when we complete a donation goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simulate another payment. And again, this is what happens if we create a real transaction and then it appears in Plaid. And now I'm going to notice that that donation or that goal has disappeared and it is now in my completed section. If I want to see a history list of all the transactions, I can click on the profile page and I'll see all the transactions I made, as well as my total donations. I can also go to the settings page and see my linked bank accounts and also disable any roundups. If I do this, I can go back and try to simulate a payment, but it's not really going to do anything. If I go and check the transaction history, we'll see that that payment has been paused and we did not charge the roundup amount. I'm going to go ahead and enable my roundups again. And just like normal, I'm going to be able to simulate a payment. Now, once I've completed a goal, like I did earlier, I'm going to receive an email notification telling me that I reached my goal and telling me that I made a real impact. That's pretty much it for Change. I'm going to go ahead and sign out now.